capacity of human consciousness. What is it and how is it related to your potential and to the amount of things that you will be able to attract into your life? In one of my previous videos, I've given you this analogy of casino chips. And in this video, I'm going to take you to the next level of understanding of energy and potential and how it all works. So when we look at the casino chips analogy, we tend to imagine these chips as something tangible, in a way, at least. Like, how do we perceive energy if we don't perceive it directly, if we don't yet know what is energy? We try to imagine it as something that we already know. So, like casino chips or money itself, we have this idea that for the your potential, financial potential, is how much money you hold. So in comments, I've noticed you were discussing, how do we collect these chips? How do we get more? So you assume probably by not spending energy, by controlling yourself, and by not engaging in some useless activities, and getting the energy, or generating it or whatever, and holding it, not spending it. Because that logic comes from our physical experience for money. How do you get more money? You just collect everything you receive and hold it. That's your potential. The more you hold, the more your potential is. That's the logic. And when we try to apply that logic to energy, we get in trouble because it doesn't work that way on the level of energy. It doesn't work that way on the level of money as well, but we'll get to that. So how does it work? If we, instead of if you can't perceive energy yet, let's replace it with something that you can perceive, like air around you. And energy is not something that comes from one specific source in form of some coin or banknote. Energy is all around you all the time. This is like a huge ocean of waves, all kinds of waves, radio, electromagnetic, whatever, all kinds of waves constantly traveling through this air, through this space, and through you as well. And all of that has some energetic potential to it. So this ocean of energy might be kind of hard for you to perceive, but it's much easier for you to perceive ocean of air, right? It's everywhere. So how do you interact with this ocean of air? You breathe. You take some of it in, you process it in a way, you let it out. That's your interaction with this air ocean. And if you would try to apply that same logic of how much air can you hold? How much air is yours? If you try to hold air, what's going to happen? Let's try to take a breath and hold it. It's my air. Now it's my air. It's my air. I'm going to hold breath. I'm not going to give it out. I'm not going to breathe out. You can probably imagine that that's not going to last too long. And even if it does, eventually your body will just force you to take a breath again. If you succeed, really succeed holding your breath, you'll just die. Congratulations. So the same idea applies to any other source of water. Same idea. When you're taking it in, it's some pure, clean, nice water. You take it in, you process it, and now let's put a task for you to hold it. Hold that water. What's going to happen? That probably you don't do that most of the time. You don't drink more and hold. Drink more. Drink a couple more liters and hold. You understand that your body will eventually force you to let that water out. And my question to you is, why are you even holding it? Don't you realize that it's not the same water that you were drinking? Not exactly of the same quality? Same as with the air. Why are you holding it? What's the point to hold it? It's not that clean air that you took in. It's been already processed. It's a waste already. Just let it out. It's not that precious already. Let it out. Take a new portion. There's a whole ocean of it around you. Why are you holding it? That logic. Let's try to connect that logic to the idea and understanding of energy and money, happiness, relationships, success, and whatever else you want to imagine in your life. Because our logic, as with like paper money, or like the more I have it, the more I have, that's where you get stuck. And because it's same as if you try to hold the water inside your body. Like, you get the point. No point to do that. It's not that precious, actually. So it's a waste. Let it go. The point is that this body works the best when it's being used for processing things. It takes things in, sends them out, takes things in, changes them in some way, and then lets them out. So this whole process applies to the energy as well. How? Now, let's look at our planet in relationship with the sun. Sun constantly sends like very dense energy towards the planet, our planet, Earth. And Earth is constantly receiving that dense energy, transmuting it somehow, and then sending the waste out into the cosmos. If this would not be happening, if the sun would be just shining constantly, sending those heavy, dense packages of energy to Earth, and Earth would be just collecting it, just storing it, collecting, it would just burn very soon, very quickly. Throughout this whole history of existence of Earth, it hasn't burnt yet, so it means, like according to the second law of thermodynamics, and understanding the idea of entropy, you can look all of that up in physics if you are curious. But we get this knowledge basically from physics, that the amount of energy received by the planet must be equal to the amount of energy that it's given away. Otherwise, this planet will start heating up. Like if some of this energy will be stored on planet Earth, it will slowly build up, and it will just burn, which we don't see happening, from which we can make a conclusion that Earth is giving away the same exact amount of energy that it's receiving. So the same logic, as the same amount of air we take in, it has to be equal to the amount of air we let out. The amount of water we take in has to be equal to the amount of water we let out. If that's not equal, the organism is probably ill. You get that logic, right? Same logic applies to planet Earth. It's receiving and giving out the same amount of energy. Amount is the same. Quality is different. The energy that is received from the sun is very dense. It's like very compacted packages of energy that sun is sending towards us. And like we don't see Earth radiating the same amounts. It's radiating slowly much energy of a lot lower density. So amount is the same, received and given out is the same, quality is different. Received is high density, given out is low density by the planet. So planet has to do this in order to survive. If being so close to the sun, it wouldn't be doing this whole transmutation and giving out. It would just burn. So for the survival of itself, planet has created this mechanism of transmutation, changing this mechanism of dissolving that dense energy into less dense forms, sending them out. How is Earth doing that? By use of the body of Earth itself and all the organisms that are on the surface, which are also part of the body of the Earth. So Earth is receiving that sunlight, let's see, through, for example, plants. A plant is receiving the sunlight and it is transmuting that energy into its own body. It grows from that energy. It transmutes it and builds itself. And the waste of this process, one of the wastes of this process, is oxygen. And we humans, we breathe waste of the plants. Just so you know, congratulations. So that's one of the wastes of a plant. Another waste of a plant is the fruit, because that's the process. The plant needs to live. In order to live, it needs to transmute that energy all the time through all these processes like photosynthesis and so on. It needs to keep transmuting like all kinds of energies, like from the water. Water is also doing that, transmuting. The earth is transmuting all the time. Just they're transmuting on different levels, levels of density and speed of transmutation that's performed by a rock or by earth is just slower. Like rock is also transmuting the sun's energy, just very, 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 very slowly, like very slowly. And so earth is made up from that same matter as rocks. And water is also transmuting that sun's energy all the time, just at a higher speed than the rock, but not as high speed, not as the speed of it is not as high as the speed of a plant, for example. The plant is doing it better because it has more, like the more complex reactions it's able to perform. So it takes the energy from the soil, from the water, from the gases, from the atmosphere, from the sunlight, and it's mixing it all together and producing its own body and waste, oxygen and fruit. Waste. Why fruits are waste for the plant is because like at some point it just throws them off into the ground and lets them rot in the ground, like let them rot and decompose there to continue that reaction of like breaking that energy more and more and more and more. So that energy is the most dense when it just comes from the sun. Then it's already less dense when it's in a form of a plant. It's already less dense. When it's in a form of oxygen, which is waste of a plant, it's second step, third step of this. Every next step makes this energy less and less dense. So fruit will be less dense energy than the plant itself. And so then an animal comes and eats this plant, for example. So now that the animal is eating that same sun energy from the sun, but not like animal is not able to just look at the sun and grow from that, to transmute that energy directly. So it needs some assistance from the earth, from water, from the plant to do some part of that transmutation and then give them, as a result, their waste, fruits and the plant itself. So in that sense, animal is eating waste of the plant. And we as humans do the same. Then the next level, we as humans don't only eat waste of plants, we also eat animals, like like waste. So how many steps you see of the same energy being just transmuted, changing form, becoming with every change, becoming less and less and less dense compared to that original energy sent by the sun. So, okay, I hope this part is sinking in slowly. So that is like when we now consider us as humans. So what is energy? That energy that's coming from the sun, how do we use that to create money or abundance? Now through this mechanism, we can slowly start understanding how it's all connected, how it's all related, that every next step is still the same original energy, just has been transmuted several times already. So we as humans receive that energy from the sun from all over, like from so many sources, from all around us, directly from the sun, from the plants, from the air, which is waste of plants, from fruit, from animals, from meat, from their products like milk and so on. And for all of these are forms of energy, which in original form are just sun energy, but the way when we receive it, it's already been like changed so many times in so many forms, and we receive it from all around, like from everywhere. It's not just coming in just one way, like oxygen entering only. Oxygen comes here, like the sunlight comes in different directions. Then what we as humans, we receive this energy from all over, and we also transmute it somehow using our own machine. We transmute all sorts of energy that we're receiving, and we also have waste. And that, like, naturally, by design, that waste is supposed to go again back to Earth, because that's what Earth needs us to do here, to help her transmute that energy into less and less and less and less dense forms. So originally we were designed to just take as much and as fast as we can, transmute as much as we can, and send all the waste back to Earth. Earth, in exchange, gives us again some nutrients and support and water and all that to keep this whole machine healthy and running, so that we can perform our function of transmutation better and longer. And from this point we can see, Earth is using us, we're just plugged into this matrix, it's just using us. Like, okay, you want to escape, go ahead. Do you know any other way, any other place to go? You're like, this world is so disgusting, I don't want to be here, I want to go. Okay, where are you going to go? Like, if your consciousness level is still at the level where you feel disgusted about something on this planet, basically, if you lose the body, you'll be so confused, lost, you will not know where to go, what to do. So just stick with it, okay? What's gonna happen if the Earth needs all these organisms to perform this work for her, for the Earth, in transmuting that energy on different levels, all together are working on one as a big team, transmuting that powerful and dangerous and life-giving energy from up there, transmuting it somehow, living through it. By transmuting, we're doing something also. We can enjoy the process while we're transmuting it, that energy for the Earth. While we're doing that work, we can also enjoy the process. We can enjoy the fruit that we're eating, even though it's just we're just performing the transmutation, next step of transmutation of energy. We're working for the planet. Just we're going to transmute it, then turn it into waste and give it to Earth to process further. And but we still can enjoy the process, right? We can enjoy eating the fruit or whatever else. So in this whole logic, for the planet, it's very important for all these beings and creatures and things that are participating in this process of transmutation to perform their task as well as possible in terms of like not creating too much resistance. Because resistance, it means holding energy. Resistance is like when you take air in and you resist to give it away. You take it in and you hold it, you hold it, you hold it, you hold it, you break the organism. And in the best case scenario, the organism will just give you like a slap and just force you to breathe again. It will just take that air out of you, away from you. Because like Earth still needs you to work for her. But if you keep doing these stupid things, like holding on to air, holding on to water, holding on to food, holding on to people, holding on to money, holding on to everything you know, ideas, concepts, energy, you hold to everything, the Earth just looks at you and thinks like, you're creating so much resistance in the system, you're heating the system up. That's not what Earth needs you to do. Like, it doesn't want to heat itself, you know, like it doesn't want creatures which will increase temperature. it wants creatures which will participate and let the process the energy efficiently and let it out without heating up the planet. So if you, as one element in this whole system, are creating, like by this friction that you create, this tension that you create, resistance of giving up the air that you've taken in, you create friction, resistance, you're heating up the system. Earth is looking at you and saying, get rid of him. Too much resistance, like he's heating up the planet. Get rid of him, give the body to me, I'll just decompose it, give him a new body, erase the memory completely, let him start fresh, maybe he'll do better next time. So if you wouldn't be resisting, you can theoretically you can live, if not forever, but very long time, if you're working as a part of the earth, which lives for quite a long time already. So she's surviving with this thing. She's dealing well with this whole process of transmutation. You can, if you manage to become part of her, part of this Gaia consciousness, this earth consciousness, you have a potential to live as long as the planet does. You don't need to exchange bodies. The earth will renew your body. It will, as it renews itself all the time, the earth, and all the elements, it will just renew. If it sees that this machine is very efficient, it's working really well, the earth is going to give you all the support you need. You're not going to age, you're not going to get old, you're not going to have troubles. It's going to give you whatever you need, food, money, pleasure, whatever. You're doing your work so well for the planet. Planet is going to give you things, because for the planet, the things that planet is giving you are also waste. In that logic, like fruits, that idea of fruit and money, like in tarot cards, that symbology of a fruit or of a coin, that idea of it's something like tangible coming, something pleasant coming into your reality. Understand that all of these tangible things are waste of a certain process. So if it's waste, we have to first, before we get to I want to manifest 31 million, for example. If you do, you might want to understand that if you are afraid of losing 31 million, Earth is not interested in giving you that, because it will give you, okay, you wish, you ask, it will give you, but the moment it will ask you to just process it, let it go into the earth, you will not give it. You'll hold it with so much tension, so much friction, that you're gonna just burn the system like that. Earth doesn't want that. So before you receive that 31 million, you have to prove to Earth that you're ready to give away 31 million, that your ability to let it pass through you is adequate to that amount of things you want to receive. So if you want to manifest things like that, this idea of money being something so pleasant, so beautiful, so amazing, has to be a little bit edited into the idea, understanding that fruit is a waste of a plant. So a lot of beautiful things on this planet are waste of something else. So this whole idea of waste being something disgusting is a trap. Because if you think that poop is disgusting, oops, you're already missing the point, that it is a result of some activity. And if you are not willing to look at that, you probably will not get a chance to look at 31 million as well. So this whole idea is, you probably have heard about there's some practices in India where they actually observe excrements. There's meditation doing that. Or there are some groups in India who actually practice this type of yoga with all the disgusting things that you can possibly find and do. They do that, and that actually expands them so much, because that's the major understanding of to stop resisting things in this reality. So if you I suggest that you take a piece of paper and just write down all the things that you find wrong or bad or negative or evil in this world. Everything, anything, just list everything that you feel should be wrong. Well, it should be done differently. That is wrong in your understanding, or like disgusting or terrible, like, I don't know, war or killing or death or dead body or like anything, or betrayal or anger or anything that you think is bad, you think is wrong, you think should be cancelled, removed from this planet, anything like that, anything in your life which you feel that happened wrong or shouldn't be like that. Why is it like that? Should never be like that. This should not exist on the planet Earth. Any kind of resistance, anything that you have resistance to, just take a list and write all of it out, and you will see how many things you are resisting. And now if we go back to the idea of the divine Sophia, or the Gaia, Mother Earth, who says that everything is under control. She knows what she is doing. This process is well organized, and everything is always right here. If something seems wrong to you, you just don't understand. If you think money should come and it should never go, that's your resistance to this idea of money going, means you don't understand what money is and what energy is. So like, you need to work not with the money and manifestation of relationship success. You should work with understanding of energy and capacity. What is capacity? So this was the topic of this video. Let's go to the capacity itself, and I'll give you one more visual representation for you to understand it and feel it better. Let's imagine the energy coming from the sun to Earth, and then from Earth out back into space, like these two streams. Let's imagine them as like a pipe. As I've already explained, it doesn't look like a pipe. It's actually coming from all directions, from all over, from people, from animals, plants, all over. It's coming from every direction all the time. But that will be harder to examine. So we just simplify it into one pipe in order to understand capacity. What is capacity? So if it's a pipe, imagine it like a pipe going through your body, like entering at the top of your head, going all through your body and entering the earth, like under your feet. So this pipe will have a certain diameter. So as if we imagine like garden hose, you can see the garden hoses can be of different diameter, right? The very smallest one, it can be like the water is running like so slowly, and that stream is just so thin and so tiny that imagine if we bend that thin tiny hose. What's gonna happen? Nothing, probably. Like, it's so thin that it's just, maybe it will drop slowly, move slowly, but probably no such big effect is gonna happen probably. But now imagine if the hose is bigger, or if it's a fire hose already. Not that small garden hose, but a fire hose. And if the water is running through that fire hose, for example, or let's see it's at rest, not being used, and we bend it. Now we let the water in, and what's going to happen? The fire hose, which has diameter, and the strength of that flow is so big and so powerful that the moment it hits that bent place, it's going to create so much tension there. It's going to create like a lot of, because the water keeps coming and the stream is so powerful, and that bent place, it's going to create so much tension that at some point it will just snap. Either it will just unfold and hit someone, or it will just burst out with that water all over. So that difference of like little hose being bent and powerful fire hose being bent. The difference. Now imagine if your like energy stream of different people can be of different diameter, right? Somebody is like a garden hose, somebody is fire hose, somebody is like Niagara Falls stream that this person is receiving on top, and it's supposed to pass all of this whole like stream of energy through the body down into earth, and then take the same amount from the earth and let it out into the space in order to be useful for the planet. Supposed to do that. And now imagine if somebody with like big diameter of the pipe has some blockage somewhere in the pipe, some block, some resistance. You understand? There will be like friction on that part of the pipe. That tension will be building up, and eventually it will either break the pipe or it will just like break out and destroy the receiver, like the earth that's under receiving that, when that, if that flows really breaks out and bursts and hits the ground. Like, who wants that? Earth probably doesn't want that, right? So that's why Earth will be more interested to remove such a powerful but resistant being from the planet, because it can give more damage than human with a very tiny hose as energy stream. So that's the issue of responsibility of powerful people. The more powerful you are, the more responsibility you have of keeping your stream open and without blockages and tension. So now let's introduce one more image of chakras. You probably all have already worked with them, or at least looked at them or studied them, and maybe you've meditated, practiced with them, and you usually see them illustrated as like circles, like on like these 7 on the human body. We see them as 7 circles located on specific spots of the body. And like when you work with them, you're probably like, okay, they have different color and so on. Now let's take this circle, let's flip it, and let's insert it into the pipe. So like this, as the chakra, as you maybe are used to see it, imagine it looking at you this way, flip, enter, put it into the pipeline, and let's perceive those chakras as flanges, as like gates on this pipeline of energy. So this is a simplification once again, because when you see chakras as they are, you understand that they're much more complex than just a flat image. Okay, we make them flat and we flip them and we put them in to be able to understand the logic of how it works. At least for beginners level, that's already enough to understand the process. So maybe later you'll see them, what they actually are. So for now, this is enough. So they are like flanges, these 7 flanges we have along this pipeline, simplified energy stream. And these flanges are supposed to be, like, in order to be very effective, they are supposed to be not always just open, as some people like to think. Let's open chakras, okay, wonderful. The idea is that a chakra is supposed to be flexible. It has to be like a good working flange. Like, it closes well, easily when you need to close it. It opens easily when you need to open. We don't want flanges which are just stuck in one position, always open. That's not healthy. That's not what Earth needs you to do. Because, like, in order to perform well, you have to be able to control the work of these flanges, these chakras. And if there is like blockage on some level of your pipe, that tells us that these flanges probably got stuck, or like got old and rigid and unable to move. And most probably, like, after having so much, I don't know, stress or trauma on that level of your body, of your energetic body, those chakras can just get stuck in almost closed position, like close to nothing. So the stream of energy that passes through you can be huge on top. If you're like, okay, this, I open this one, it's open, I'm receiving something from sun, from cosmos, from stars, from guides, I'm receiving. But then if you are not, you have not prepared the whole system, like all the rest of chakras, if they're not prepared, that stream of sun directly, if you receive the sun energy, right, like as it is, and you are unable to, like, you have to be able, the system has to be able to really transmute it, like all the way, like let it all pass through you until the earth, because earth does not want to receive it in that form. It wants it transmuted. So you have to do some work with it. And if you're these chakras which are like blocked or closed or like rigid or stuck, they're not working, and you keep receiving and receiving and receiving, and all that energy is supposed to go somewhere, as in that fire hose which has been bent. That tension is just gonna keep building at that one blocked spot until it just explodes and breaks the whole system. So that's why I usually warn people from not trying to just go so high up right away. First, prepare the system. Work with all the chakras first, because there is a method to this. It's like, I understand how attractive it might seem to just start channeling right away. But if you're, or like, oh, let's rise Kundalini and all that. Again, if the system is not ready, you raise that from the bottom, that huge flow from the bottom with that. If, for example, the flow is coming like so huge from the bottom and one of your chakras is completely blocked, it's just gonna destroy that area of your energetic body and probably your physical body as well. So preparation for this process is much more important than raising Kundalini, awakening Kundalini, or receiving the channelings, blah, blah. Like all of that comes naturally when the system is ready. It just happens by itself. Kundalini happens by itself, the channelings happen by itself naturally. When the system is ready, when all of your chakras are flexible and open and ready and sensitive and working properly, and your potential is already good enough to let big amounts of energy through, you just start hearing and knowing by default, not by forcing it. So with this part of information, you can actually list levels, like how do you work with this now. Okay, let's go to that. If you're like if our task to first prepare this body, because it's supposed to prepare the physical body and the energetic body to let that energy in and let it out to be useful for the planet, then the planet will give us back things that we want, like happiness, fruit, and money, and relationships. The planet will give us, because it's like a reward for doing our work well enough. And so that's like a result already of our ability to let energy go. If we are stuck with just receiving, holding that sunlight in us, like I'm gonna shine, I'm shining, I'm so good, look at me, I'm so good, I'm shining. If you do that, it's probably the energy is being stuck above the heart chakra, and the earth is gonna look at you and just like, okay, get rid of that, or just burn that system. You just go, you lose your mind, and you're not that effective as a spiritual guide anymore. So the key is that you are able to receive that light. Okay, prove to the earth that you're able to receive and give it all to her. Receive, transmute, and give it all to her, to the earth. Then earth will say thank you for being useful. And in return, it will transmute the same amount of energy that you've received, transmuted, and given to her. The earth will give you back in form of fruits, things, money, happiness, pleasure, whatever. And your task is not, again, to hold it, to enjoy it, receiving it in the process, and again let it go. Let it go there to receive next portion. Constantly being in that state of like these two streams constantly passing through you. Not like in a water hose where the water is flowing into one direction only. Here, the energy is flowing in both directions all the time, at the same time. Like from up, down, and down, up. They're moving all the time. And your capacity is how big is the diameter of like this stream as a whole, your pipeline as a whole, and diameter of every like maximum like openness of each chakra has to be equal to the capacity of your pipeline, your stream. And you should have full control of each chakra, because you should not just keep them all open all the time. You should have some flexibility, because you also need to take care of the body. You have to limit yourself, knowing when it's already coming too much. Oh, hey, stop little. I need to rest. Like, close it down a little bit. I'm not receiving today. I need to sleep. I need to rest. And then, okay, I'm ready to open. You should have control over them. They should not be just wide open all the time. That way you can actually like operate more efficiently in this body. So at this level, an exercise that you can do is you can again take a piece of paper and write whatever like the issues that you might have on the physical level, on the level of each chakra. If you already listed the problems that you have with the world, in the same way you can see that probably if you know the meaning of each chakra and their purpose, you can guess at which level some of your blockages or issues are located, in which chakras. And as when we work with chakras, it's so popular to use visualization and all these kind of practices. I don't support that so much, because usually if you're not able to perceive a chakra as what it actually is, as an energetic organ, if you don't see the complexity of it and what is it actually, that where it's actually located in your energetic body, and you just use a practice which gives you an image and tells you to imagine that chakra and work on it, what most people do in this case, they just imagine some imaginary chakra and they do work on this imaginary chakra. There's a real one here, and I draw another one in my imagination here, and I do all the manipulations in that imaginary chakra, and then I wait for result. But I didn't do any work on the real one. I did all the changes in the imaginary chakra, so the changes will also be imaginary because I'm imagining it. So all the visualization practices are like efficient only for those who can actually feel it. And for that, you need to actually be able to perceive energy. If you can't do that, just leave that alone, all those images. Don't work with them. Just work with what you can actually perceive, and that is your physical body. This is available. And on everything that is, whatever is happening in your energetic body, in your chakras, will be displayed on your physical body. So by condition of your body on different levels of the body itself, you can make conclusions which chakras are functioning well and healthy and which are probably like stuck or have some problems. This you will see, like for example, where do you have most of your health issues or problems with the body, like some like long-term illnesses or injuries or damages, like broken bones or I don't know, some injuries, operations, surgeries, whatever. All of that will show the level. Like if the chakra is not functioning well, it will be demonstrated on the physical body. So we leave the chakras alone. We just observe the body. Where is the energy stuck in the body? It will tell us by, for example, in the physical body, it will be the place where the blood is stuck in the body, because we need circulation all the time being processed and wastes are coming out. If, for example, your digestion, for example, is problematic, it means that area, there is like energy is not moving well there, and probably blood is not moving well, lymph is not moving well, anything else is also probably not moving well in that area. Or if you have, for example, issues in neck or shoulders, chest, wherever, that area will display some problems on the related chakra. So we work with the physical body by observing the symptoms and our thoughts about the related area of our life, if it's heart related or stomach related or legs related. You get the logic, right? So that's what we work with our thoughts and with our like actual blood flow and with our emotions. On which level do we have the most painful emotions? Like with which level of emotions do we have the most problem most of the time? So that's what we work with, things that we can actually touch and experience. Some emotions are like so easy for us to process, but there are some that are like, oh, so disgusting, so hard, so painful, so warming, let's say. When we experience certain emotions, our body starts warming up. That's a red sign, meaning that that's when the planet will look at you. Oh, what are you doing? You're heating us. So that's the emotion that we'll need to work with. And how do we work with it? Every emotion is paradox. Like it has two parts to it, two sides to it. So if something causes resistance in us, if we only perceive one half of a paradox we perceive, second half we don't, then we have a resistance because we struggle to understand why is this so, why is war is so bad, because we see only half of this concept of war, but we don't see the other side of this concept. That's why we have a resistance to it. It seems so wrong, it seems so illogical, like pointless. But when we get the second part of like from position of earth, saying that everything is always right, and for the earth such kind of events is a way to get rid of souls which have created already too much resistance in the system. If you have no resistance, you will be saved. Even in the middle of the war, you will be protected and saved if you are useful for the planet. If you've already gathered too much tension, too much resistance, then such events are a way of a planet to give these people new bodies, let them start all over. So once you understand each concept from both sides, your resistance just goes down. You start understanding, oh, okay, that's why that's the negative side of it, that's the positive side. You connect and your resistance declines. And that's how we work with all emotions, all concepts, all ideas. You try to understand the opposite side of it. What I don't see, what I don't understand. I see one side, I don't understand the second. So the same idea applies to vegetarians. For example, they're like, oh, I should not eat animals because like I'm so high, I'm so elevated, I will eat only plants. And like you don't see the other part of it. Like plants are also alive, and actually the energy that you receive from plants even more dense. Like, are you sure your body is ready to live efficiently on such dense energy? Or there are some people who, not even plants, they want to just eat the sunshine directly. They're like, I'm gonna feed from that only. And that is a level of consciousness where you're able to actually take directly that dense energy of the sun, transmute this whole thing so many times, not ask plants and animals for help. Do some steps of transmutation for me, please, then I'll eat you. I'm gonna do all the work. And you do all that, and then you're efficient. And that is a level of, there are some people in India, like some yogis sitting and able to stay alive while not even breathing, or just on that energy directly, not even moving. But that's a level of consciousness. Like, are you sure you have that level of consciousness if you want to be like vegan and stuff? Like, or is it more like you're like this whole desire to be vegan is more fired more by disgust of observing dead bodies, and you feel like, ooh, that's the death is bad, like all that, the killing of animals, it's all bad. If that's what's fueling your vegetarianism, then that's just ego. That's just, you don't yet have level of capacity to transmute sun's energy directly. So you're just breaking your body. Just be realistic and say that I just feel disgusted looking at dead things and smelling them. That's truth. That's more realistic, because when you are at that level, when you can eat the sunlight, you already have no resistance to death, to dead bodies, to excrements or whatever. You don't have any of that, any of those illusions already. That's the level of those people who are sitting on the mountain in India. And if you really want to take the sunlight the way that the plant does, you have to first learn to be as stable as a plant. Can you be as calm, as stable, as patient as a plant or as a rock? A rock is also transmuting sunlight. Can you be? Just try to pretend that you are a tree. Go stand, imagine that you have roots, and don't move. Just don't move. That stability of a plant. That's what you have to have first in order to be able to transmute energy of that high frequency. How long you will be able to stand still without moving, without feeling, thinking, thoughts, emotions, and desires and all that. Your imagination, I'm standing so cool, I'm so cool, I'm standing, I'm like almost like without any ego, just stand. How much ego does a tree have? Have you ever been to forest and seen how trees die? When the old trees, there's new trees standing, and old trees are just laying there, dead. Not making any drama, any tragedy of their loss, of their... And can you do it? Like, if I squeeze your finger, you'll make so much drama. Are you sure you're at the level of a tree to transmute, in your ability to transmute energy? The ability is one. Potential of your body, you actually, as a physical potential of the human body, it has potential to transmute incredible amounts and with very high speed. That's why we are precious for the planet, because like stones, rocks, they transmute energy, but very slowly, very slowly. And like evolution through rocks takes a lot of time. Through plants, a little bit faster, but still. Animals, a little bit faster, but still. Humans at this current time on this planet are the fastest in our capacity to take a lot, transmute very quickly, and give and receive more. And this is our potential. And like potentially we have capacity to just be part of this planet, become the earth itself, the Gaia itself. But in fact, based on your illusions and confusion and all the wrong information that you have fed yourself with, trying to hold to things, you're not very efficient, maybe, as a transmuter or a conductor of energy and sunlight for Earth. So, if I recall properly, that's pretty much all I wanted to say today. One more thing about maybe protecting yourself, because that was also like, okay, yeah, there were some more things. So how do we, about heart chakra, that one, three more things came up when I decided to finish. So in this whole system of like opening, working with chakras, all these chakras, as we see, if we imagine like this triangle from the top, and one more like pyramid, okay? From the top, energy coming into our body, and at the bottom, another pyramid going into the earth. And the central point between these two pyramids, the central point, is the heart chakra. So 3 chakras on top, 3 on bottom, and that central one, the heart chakra, is like a control valve, or like the main gate, the control center. Because this center is meant to protect the whole system from burning. Because like if you're like stupid enough to just like not even considering your true capacity, you just keep taking from the top, the planet will say like you're not doing really good work. So this protection mechanism on the heart level is arranged in such a way that until this flange is open, the heart chakra is open, you are not going to be like a full-scale human. You're not going to have your full potential available to you. This safety valve, safety mechanism at the very center, it is the most important in order to allow this energy flow to be like healthy and useful for the planet. That is, heart is the place where two opposites unite. Two complete opposites must unite, and this is the point where this transmutation actually happens. Like of this stream going down, of that stream going up, this is the point where both streams meet, and this is where all this heart alchemy or all this magic of transmutation happens at this center. So if you are not yet capable of alchemy or alchemical transmutation, the heart is not gonna open. You can imagine as much as you want on top, be as many, you can be guru, whatever, in your imagination on top. It's not gonna come to earth, it's not gonna come to reality until you open this one valve. And that is the heart center, the singularity, it's the point of whatever, the center of the cross, it's the Christ consciousness, it is the love. It's like all these names are meant to explain opening of this one important valve. Until this one is open, you are pretty much useless, like not completely useless, but not too valuable for the planet. You can be easily given away. And at the same time, you're not that dangerous also, because your potential is not available to you, really. If you make some mistakes, planet will just erase you, just give you a new body right away. So this is like the critical point. And opening of it has everything to do with connecting the opposites, understanding two sides of every paradox, that we're living in this world, and this world is real, but it is not. Like, is this real? No, this world is like understanding that it's both. It is and it is not. We are God and we are not. We are male and female. Like, the war is bad and good at the same time. So understanding these two sides of every paradox is the way to open this one main valve. And the key to understanding each paradox is the concept of love. Concept of love is what unites two opposites into one. It's the mending ingredient which connects everything and gives that full understanding. That's what it is. That's how it is. And without this ingredient, the whole thing is just gonna stay a mystery for you, and you just keep doing your thing. Planet doesn't really care much. So as for the symbology, that idea of the Graal, right, that cup of Christ, again, the same idea. Wide on the top, wide on the bottom, and that central thin point. That symbol means exactly the same. Finding that Graal, there are people actually looking for the cup. They're like actually going around the planet looking for the cup. Like, oh gosh. Or like that idea of a cross, same idea. Center, find that center, balance two opposites, center, balance war and like being good and bad, death and life, make them equal, make them equally important and equally good. So that is the symbology of the heart. And as for exercise, I would suggest you to try to, like, if you want to understand, like, how does this actually work, this heart chakra thing. If I give you a task, for example, to get up and try to go as fast as you can, but don't move. Can you do that? That's the task. That's the paradox. That, like, if you can force yourself to actually stay in that mode, you're like moving with all of your intention, you're moving, but you're not moving at the same time, doing these two opposite things at the same time, because you will try to like, okay, let's choose one, let's just be stable. No, not just being stable, move, but stay in one place. Those, like, when you feel those two forces like going in opposite direction with same strength, if you can just generate that impulse, feel that, what it means to be and not be at the same time, to move and not move at the same time. That's the consciousness of a rock, for example. Like, how do you understand how it feels? Like it's alive, but it's just moving, but so slow that it feels to you that it's not moving. So that center point, the singularity, is, if you try to, also another practice is to learn to focus on the center or focus on a dot. Just put a dot on the wall and learn to focus, just keep focusing on it, like with all of your attention being focused in one spot. And in that spot, if you can just, at that moment when you focus, like really feel, not imagine, but feel that that's the only thing that exists. Just that spot is all that exists. It's the same exercise, because obviously there's more things existing around you right now, but you have to focus on just that one. In the same direction would go all the mindfulness exercises, like mindful breathing or mindful walking or mindful dishwashing or whatever. Mindfulness means that you're performing a task and you're fully involved with it. You're not thinking of anything else, you're not feeling anything else, you're fully participating in this one specific task. The easiest way to train that is by focusing on your breath. Just like every breath that you take in and you observe in and out, you observe, and there's like nothing else exists for you, just this breath in. You can focus on the tip of your nose or on your belly rising and falling, and just you can comment to yourself, breathing in, breathing out, and understand that in that moment all that exists is just this breath, nothing else exists. That's another way of getting into this center. And you don't have to do it like sit down and do 3 hours of it. It's just something that you collect slowly. You do 1 minute, one day, 5 seconds. Next day, you slowly connect. These will be your coins in terms of that casino chips analogy. This moments of peace, moments of total stability and unity and singularity, when there is no protest, no resistance in you, no like, why am I here, why am I not there, why am I in the past, in the future, what's gonna happen today, tomorrow. Like, you're not all over the place, you're just here, just washing the dishes with all of yourself. That's when you're the most useful for the planet, and that's when the planet notices you and is like, okay, that one is useful, let's wonder what he or she wants to receive to keep up that good work. So that's the exercise you can use. And another way to practice this heart centering is also my favorite Sufi recording on YouTube. I'll probably put a link somewhere down there. Deepak Chopra has made that recording. I think it's called Deepak Chopra with Friends and Friends. The Gift of Love. So it's basically poems of Mevlana Rumi, the Sufi poet from the past, and they put that on music and they sing it and they record it. It's very beautiful recording. If you can actually listen to it and focus on it and like really experience that energy that's being sent through that music and recording those words, there is a chance for you to feel the center, at least for a short moment. So like this way of gathering these moments of stillness, you can slowly increase the number of casino chips that you have. And in a way that's going to be like expanding your stream, expanding the diameter of your pipe. And if you expand it as much as like the earth allows, that how does that happen? If you have the potential and you don't use that potential, Like you have potential to run fast. I tell you, get up, run very fast. You have potential to run. Actually, you can, but you don't. And you stand very still. You're like moving, you feel that intention in you. It's moving, but it's not. But you're not. You're moving and you're not. You're moving and you're not. That connection of two opposites, if you can do it properly, that's moment of your expansion, that symbol of circle and a dot. So you are the dot and you are the circle. And when you're not moving, your potential is to move, but you're standing still in that center. But your potential is to move, you're standing still in that center. So you're growing, growing, growing. If you can actually grow big enough with this process, with this exercise, you can eventually grow to the size of the planet Earth and become the part, like now you're part of the Earth consciousness, but you can actually become the Earth itself. Like that's the, when your center is like small now, it grows, the center grows, 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 and you become the Mother Earth itself. That's when you get the consciousness of Gaia. That's when you understand and you learn to think like Gaia does. And as that's the ability to think on the level of divine Sophia, the wisdom of the Sophia. So, number of exercises I've given. I hope at least one of them works for you, and I hope my explanations were effective this time. So, let me think, is there anything else? Yeah, there was one more. It's going to be a long video, but there's one more. So as for the scanning of the body, we can also work with the muscles of the body. You can just observe on which level of the body do you have tension, like physical tension, like which muscles are tense. There will be some muscles which are constantly tense without any reason. Like you're not using those muscles, they're just tense. So that's where the chakra on that level is probably not functioning too well. So we don't touch the chakra, we release these muscles, learn to release them, maybe with massage, maybe by just putting your attention on those muscles and telling yourself to relax them. That's a practice of like complete relaxation of the body. And the most important part in this whole relaxation thing is one muscle that's at very bottom of your body, the perineum, I think it's called in English. So this muscle, if you don't know where it's located, you can Google it and see the picture. And in that muscle, there will be like the central point of that perineum muscle. That central point is what can be called the point of acceptance. So if you want to receive 31 million, you need to learn to control this one point, learn to relax it, because this one point in the middle of the perineum muscle, it like the muscle itself is probably tense in you most of the time. And that means that at the very bottom, you're holding things like whatever you received from up, water, air, goods, money, whatever you receive from below, you're holding. Like you don't want to let it out, you don't want to let it out, you're holding all the time. And that muscle, when you learn to like consciously relax it, like train it maybe so that it listens. Maybe you cannot imagine the chakra on that level, but you can work with the real muscle on that level to learn to make it flexible and to release it when you need to release and to contract it when you need to contract. So and that would be your ability to let go when you are like, you don't want to lose something, a person, relationship, money, job, opportunity, whatever. You're holding it. You can scan your body. Some muscles will be tense, but for sure that one perineum muscle will be the most tense of all. And that's the agreement muscle, acceptance muscle, let's say, and the point of acceptance. And training as exercise, if you want to learn to accept war, you try to, or war, or losing money or something, you think of it and you feel that tension, your body gets tense for a second, and you focus on that one muscle and you relax that one. You think about war and you relax that muscle. You think about war and you relax that muscle. And that's the exercise. You do it as many times as necessary until you can think about war, and that muscle just does not react anymore. That's when you are being upgraded. So that key muscle is like fun thing to play with if you want to gain control over your manifestations, because that's the muscle, like it holds not only flow in, it also holds like that flow from earth, because that from that flow is where the fruits or the goods, the money is going to come. So if you're so tense to lose your money, whatever you have right now, you're holding, you're like, I'm so afraid to lose them, I'm so afraid to lose it, but I need more, but I'm afraid to lose this one. The idea is to learn to relax that muscle. Think about losing that money and relax it, and then think about losing that 31 million and relaxing that muscle. If you manage to do that, then Earth will know that it's safe to give you that money, that you will use it, enjoy it, and you will give it away, and then ask for next portion. Understanding that there is nothing to hold here and nothing to fear and nothing to be afraid to lose, because the whole idea of protecting yourself from something, holding on to something, is kind of stupid because like you're gonna die anyway. This body is gonna be taken away from you anyway. You hold on to it or you don't, it's gonna be taken away anyway. So it's more efficient for this body to be used in a relaxed way, then it can last longer. So how do I relax? There's so many things, bad things around me, surrounding, bad people, energy sending me, and I need to protect myself, evil, all these attacks and all that I need to protect. That understanding that really when you look at your size and the size of the universe, and realize that if this whole huge thing wanted to destroy you, it would have already destroyed you a long time ago if it just had that wish. Like, so your protection would never protect you actually from anything in this huge thing, this huge machine. What are you protecting from? Yourself. What are you protecting yourself from? Idea that the protection that you build is a wall. You're like, there is no wall that you can build which will only let the good things in and let all the bad things out. If it's a wall, it's a wall. You're protecting yourself from bad and good also. How effective is that? The best way to protect yourself is to have no protection at all. So the best protection is absolute absence of it. When you're absolutely transparent and you let all things through you, you are the safest in this planet, because you create no resistance, you create no friction, no tension. The planet will need you. You will be very valuable for this planet. Planet will protect you. Planet will give you things. It's much more efficient and effective in protecting than you yourself with all your guards that you put around yourself. And when you put these guards, when you just think how much of your energy you're putting on just holding these guards, that's a waste of energy and it's pointless. And if you just realize that if you just be transparent, any bad thing that's coming into you, it just flies right through you. Same idea about this whole virus thing, that if you put if you make really strong, like if you become resistant, you become really tense, protecting yourself, the more resistance you become really visible for the viruses. When you're fully relaxed, you are not like a physical object because of the size of the virus. If you really realize how small is the size of the virus, it can just fly through your grid. The grid of your organism has openings much bigger than the size of the virus. The virus just will fly through you if you're not resisting it. But when you're resisting, you'll catch the virus by resistance only. And the same with all evil and negative and whatever. Negative energy and all that. Your resistance is what gives like this whole thing ability to exist and to annoy you. So I'm doing my best to have minimal resistance, but there is the thing, like if if I'll decrease my resistance a little bit more, I have a very high chances of just dissolving and losing the physical body. Like, my resistance is what is still holding me in this physical form. So please don't ask me to decrease my resistance and be loving and kind to everyone on this channel, because like if I'll expand a little bit more and go to that frequency of love and acceptance, I'll just leave the physical realm. Then who is going to explain all these things to you? Because your spiritual guides are explaining to you all the time from that dimension. They're talking to you, you're not hearing them. So my resistance is what allows me to still have physical form. So my resistance is useful in this way. That's the last thing that's keeping me with you, people. So I'll see you again in my next video. I hope it was useful. Bye bye.